Hi cuties. In this video, I'm going to show you how I fixed my extremely leggy tomato plant. Let me just show you where it starts from. So this is the bottom of the pot. And do you see it? Here's part of it. And then it goes all the way. It leans on my rubber plant for support. It goes all the way up here. So if you look here, it is an extremely leggy tomato plant with like a branch, there's another tomato plant basically growing from its side. And kudos to it for being so vigorous in its growth. But this is just not gonna go well if I plant it or if I move it outside. I've been overwintering it. So I moved this plant indoors to keep it from dying over this winter, and it just grew a ton. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to make sure that we can get this tomato plant at a good height to grow and flourish. Okay, cuties, so I took a pair of scissors and I sanitized them, and then I'm just going to trim this stalk over here. It's just way too long, and let me see here. There's also some disease going on over here. I'm not exactly sure what that is. You see here, there's some like black dots. Tomato plants are really prone to disease. It looks like it's just on this leaf though, so I'm just gonna cut this off. And I'm gonna cut this one right here, right below the node, so I can propagate it, because it's a really long branch, and I can probably get another plant out of this. See? There we go. And I'm gonna cut off the little, you see there's some black dots on the leaves down here. I'm gonna cut those off too. And I'm gonna show you what I do with it. And then we have, see, tomato plants are also prone to having these white thingies. I don't know what they're called. If you know, leave it in the comments section. It's like sticky too. They're very prone to disease. So I want to get this outside. Not that there's any less disease outside, but I don't want this growing indoors. So I'm just going to make a cut right where the tomato, right underneath a node. There's like a little, I'm going to cut it right underneath this node right here. You see that little bump? I'm going to cut it right underneath here. So you see it's still pretty tall. I might trim this down even more. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take off these little branches like this. See, these leaves are sickly. And that way, hopefully the tomato plant will have a new chance to grow in a healthier way. Yeah, and it has some of that same black dots on here too. And it looks like there's some flowers growing, but they don't look very healthy. So I think this is for the best that we try to fix this. I'm just going to remove the flowers as well. So you see it's a really leggy. And I'm going to just actually cut this even more. I'm going to cut right below this node over here. And now you see this, the length is much more, I think it's much more doable for the plant, and it'll probably feel better. I'm just going to take off this guy right here. And I think there's some black dots on this leaf. I'm going to take off this leaf too. And what are these little black dots? Take that off. I'm going to do the same with this guy. So now I have 2 potential tomato plants, and we'll see if they root. And they are definitely at a much more reasonable height, and hopefully this will give them a better chance to survive. I will keep you posted. Hi, little boy. Hi cuties, it's been a couple of weeks since we put the tomato cuttings in water, and I just want to show you that there are tons of roots growing from the cuttings. Not only did we reduce the length of the original tomato plant by quite a bit, we now have 2 tomato plants with roots. So what you do now is just you put this in soil, and then the tomato plant will keep growing. So hopefully this video was helpful to you on how to reduce the length of a leggy tomato plant. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.